Your ex could be earning more money than they are. That's going to affect child support. What do you do in order to correct that situation? Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm attorney Paul Whalen from Afford Law, where all of our fees are based on a sliding scale based on your income. So the less you make, the less you have to pay. So what we're going to talk about today is called income attribution. Income attribution is when you go before the judge and you're asking the judge to look at the person's earning capacity rather than what they are actually earning. So it comes up in many instances. That's a case where a person puts down how much they're earning at their job, say their salary, but you know that they could earn a lot more than that, and they are perhaps not earning as much because they don't want to pay you as much in child support. So you're going before the judge and you're saying, Judge, I can show you that this person can be earning much more money than they are. And I think that money, that amount of money that they could be earning is what you should base the child support amount on rather than what they're actually earning. That's what's called income attribution. Income attribution can apply to either party, the receiving party or the paying party. So if you're receiving child support and you think your ex could be earning more, you want that amount of money to be factored in the child support formula. Conversely, if you're the paying spouse, you're saying to the judge, Judge, that person could be earning more money as well, and that should be factored in. Therefore, that would be decreasing my child support amount. So it arises when a person chooses not to work or chooses not to work as much as they could. So the person is unemployed or underemployed. In a income attribution case, basically you're saying that the other person should be earning more. But you can argue that through no fault of your own, your income has perhaps decreased. Okay. So if you're going to go through this with the judge, you're going to be arguing that you want the other party to have certain income attributed to them. The judge is going to go through sort of a fact-finding mission to determine whether or not they will, in fact, use that amount of money rather than their stated salary. So the judge is going to be looking for many things when deciding on income attribution or not. One of them is the person's educational background. So if the person has an advanced education, if they have an advanced degree, and therefore their earning capacity is higher, it's more likely that the judge will decide that an income attribution is perhaps in order, and that person should be paying a higher child support amount. The skills and training of a person are also an issue when a judge decides about income attribution. So if the person has if the person is highly skilled, if they have a particular trade, if they are a licensed plumber or carpenter or something along those lines, somebody like that can be earning more money than an unskilled worker. So that could be an argument to be made why that person should have income attributed to them. The current health of the person that's involved is also a factor. So when determining whether income should be attributed to a spouse, if the spouse is in poor health, that's more likely to lead a judge to believe that they're unable to earn as much money as they could if they were in good health, which only makes sense because if you're a healthy person, you can go out, you can earn a living at a much greater capacity than you could if you have a medical condition which could prevent you altogether or at least decrease your ability to earn an income. Another thing a judge will look at when determining whether to attribute income to a spouse or not is basically their resume or their history of employment. So let's say, for example, a person is earning a good salary for many years during the course of the marriage. Let's just say the person's earning $150,000 in their job. Right before the divorce happens, that person leaves their job and is now unemployed or is employed at a much lesser rate than that. So the judge will look to that situation and think, well, the person has the ability, the proven ability to earn more than that because they've done so for the past several years. It looks like now they're trying to get out of paying child support or to pay a lower amount of child support by being underemployed and therefore not earning as much as they could. And the judge will also look to the person's current employability in the market when deciding if the judge will attribute income. So what that means is that even if a person is highly skilled or is highly educated, perhaps the job market is such that that person can't get a job or can't get the type of job that they would during a better economic situation. So for instance, during the recession, people were out of work and they were certainly earning much less than they could have, but that was through no fault of their own. That's a greater economic influence that caused that particular situation. So a judge would be less likely to attribute a higher income to them given the current economic state. A judge will also review and determine whether the party is making reasonable efforts to increase their income. So if it looks like the person's not doing everything they can to find a new job, to advance their career, advance their salary, and so forth, a judge would be more likely to think that that person is doing so in order to lower the child support payments and is more likely to impute income to that person in that particular situation. So keep in mind, when attributing income in a child support matter, the rule is that the judge will base the child support amount on the actual income of the individual. So that's the rule. The exception is that the judge will attribute income to the person. So if you're going to try to make that argument, keep in mind that the judge starts from a position of whatever the person's making, that's what we're going to take, unless you can convince me otherwise that I should consider something else. And the judge has broad discretion in attributing income to the party or not. They can refuse outright to attribute any income to that person, and they have a great discretion in attributing whatever amount they feel is necessary and fair in the particular situation. So that is income attribution in a nutshell. It happens frequently in the courts, but it is an uphill battle if you are trying to if you're trying to have somebody, the judge, attribute the income to that particular person. So at Afford Law, we do practice criminal and family law throughout Massachusetts. Our fees are all based on your income. So that means the less you make, the less you have to pay. We're trying to make ourselves as affordable as possible to the hardworking people of Massachusetts. Please feel free to visit us at affordlaw.org and book a free virtual appointment with me. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about any criminal or family law matters in Massachusetts. Because at Afford Law, we're making justice affordable. Thank you.